fire blazing, got to keep it bright. The Babylon is burning down and crumbling our sight. The Babylon is burning down and crumbling our sight.
Been told now for quite a number of years by very, very reliable sources in the national intelligence and scientific community that the American government is in possession of non-human technology, spacecraft, alien spacecraft. We don't use the word alien for reasons I'll later explain, but non-human intelligence is the new euphemism.
So you hear that? We are not alone. Check, 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 yeah. Yeah, man. So this episode is about aliens and UFOs. So real quickly, go grab your tinfoil hats, you see me? Yeah, man, it seems like this topic is becoming more and more of a reality to deal with than just sci-fi and conspiracy theories, you know what I mean? So, alright, so earlier this year, Ross Coulthart, reputable journalist and author, spoke to David Grusch, former high-ranking U.S. military intelligence officer, the man who would brief the president himself in person about alien matters, and in their discussion they talked about UFO sightings and the intentional government cover-up of the possession of unidentified aerial phenomena. That's the new name, by the way, for UFOs, right? He also spoke about his roadblocks in his investigations in this matter by military personnel. So before you're gonna laugh at me for bringing up this topic, remember that the United States government themselves hired a top military officer to investigate UFOs, UAPs, aliens, and all of them something easy be. So allow me. Right, so I will just put things into context a little bit by mentioning Roswell, because it's still a very important central story in this whole thing, right? Now, Roswell is a town in New Mexico where it is said that in 1947 there was an alien spacecraft that crashed, and the military retrieved the craft with 3 non-human bodies inside of it. And the claims by UFOologists is that the military covered up the issue, saying it was a lie and it was just weather balloons, right? Now, UFOologists also said that in the 6 months prior to the Roswell incident, hundreds of sightings were reported on the western side of the US, which was unheard of, right? And what's strange about Roswell is that the official story changed several times, right? Because while the newspapers reportedly quoted an army officer saying there was a UFO recovered from the desert, the government came out and amended that story to say that the recovered objects were actually just weather balloons. And not only were they weather balloons, in 1994, the government changed the story again and said, actually, they were spy balloons. We didn't want to tell you guys because we were in a war. Okay, so let's give some context, because the technology that it is said that the government is hiding or doesn't want to admit that they have, the alien technology, is still the same technology that they retrieved from that crash in 1947, that alleged UFO crash in 1947. Zane, a lot of people believe this, and I mean, we've heard some compelling stories. So real quickly, check out this video from David Grusch and Ross Coulthart, where David actually speaks for himself on the matter.
And in the course of my research some time ago, I came across a guy called David Grusch. David only resigned from the very highest levels of military intelligence in the United States about early April. And he worked most recently for the UAP task force. He was the National Geospatial Agency Intelligence Agency lead for the UAP task force in the Pentagon, which is the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Task Force. And he was investigating what he called transmedium anomaly issues, which essentially is a polite euphemism for UFOs, UAPs, alien spacecraft. And I have to admit, as I've gone on and spoken to Dave, I realized that he was at the highest levels of US intelligence. And he was kind enough to speak to me and share with me what he knew.
I was extremely highly cleared.
What conclusion did you come to at the end of your time on the UAP task force?
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will.
And so that was a short clip. Zane, he didn't say much, but he said enough for you to understand what's going on, right? From his perspective as a military intelligence officer, very high-ranking military intelligence officer, he was denied access to information, right? His task force was unable to carry out their full duties, their full investigations, and he's not divulging why, but he is stating that that's what happened. And the information that he's trying to investigate allegedly states that the government is in control, in possession of UAPs, UFOs. Something sounds strange now, because here this man is hired by the Pentagon to investigate UFOs, but while doing his duty, members of the government, military officials, members of the Pentagon are stopping him from doing his job. So he's raising the question, why is this so? What is so top secret that not even I, as an intelligence officer, can't know, can't have access to? It doesn't seem right. It seems very spooky, right? So that's one of the main arguments in this whole thing. Yeah, man. All right, now apparently, according to David Grusch, even presidents have changed their approach on the topic scene, and not all presidents themselves know of the existence of top secret programs like these that David Grusch talks about. Some presidents in the past were CIA and FBI members, but unless you were deeply connected like that, more than likely a lot of this type of information would have been withheld from you, right? That's some of the stuff David is actually saying. That's some of the stuff Ross Coulthart is actually saying, you know what I mean? So it's only certain presidents would be privy to this type of information. All right, so a good example of these presidents who may have been briefed while in office but were not privy to the deepest secrets is Obama, right? And here we have a video of him over the years slowly switching his story. At first he's joking about it, he's mocking the whole UFO idea, right? And then steadily over the course of probably like 5-6 years, you hear him go from mocking it to actually addressing it and saying, yeah, the government is looking into these matters.
I know that President Obama, after he left the presidency, was also briefed into it. And if you look online, you'll find various interviews where President Obama noticeably changed his tone and became far more respectful of the notion that there really is something to this UFO issue.
The aliens won't let it happen. You reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us.
Clinton said he did go right in and he did check and there was nothing.
Well, that's what we're instructed to say.
Did you ever ask for information they said we can't tell you?
No, but I will tell you that there were times where I asked for information and that it came slower than I wanted. Prying information out of the bowels of an agency can be challenging.
UFOs? Any UFOs? Did you ask about that?
Certainly asked about it.
And?
Can't tell you. Sorry.
Okay.
Can
UFOs.
I say it used to be that UFOs was the what is it? Roswell was the biggest conspiracy,
yeah.
And now that seems so tame, right?
Right.
The idea that
right.
The government might have an alien spaceship.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory, and so. I think that people still take seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is.
Now, I don't know if you saw the first part of that video a while ago, but Obama was literally saying, even though in a joking way, he was saying, they exercise strict control over us. They don't want us to tell their secrets, right? So, you think about that, you know what I mean? Some things are said in joke, but then you check it a few years later, you know what I mean? And it was a hint. Obama gonna laugh after that. And then, how much year later? 5, 6 years later, the man is like, oh, you know, we don't understand what these things are. We need to study them, the trajectory and the speed. And, you know, we have all these videos. It make you actually think like, yo, what is going on? So here we have this nymag.com article, what UFO whistleblower David Grusch told Congress, and it came out on July 27, 2023, right? The UFO whistleblower got what he wanted less than 2 months after he came forward to claim that the Pentagon is hiding evidence of alien spacecraft from Congress. Former intelligence officer David Grusch testified under oath before a House Oversight Subcommittee on National Security to expand on his bold, uncorroborated claims. Together with 2 former Navy pilots who saw UFOs on the job, David Fravor and Ryan Graves, Grusch answered questions from the representatives on otherworldly sightings and the need for more congressional authority over the Pentagon's UFO programs. Grusch also said there are secret government programs that are funded by private companies. Grusch claims that while on the intelligence community's UFO task force, he became aware of secret programs inside the US government that were in charge of unsanctioned technological research related to UFOs. Crucially, Grusch has not actually seen firsthand the things he's citing. His allegations about their funding are just as striking. Okay. Grusch also claims that people have been threatened and physically hurt in the Pentagon's cover-up of the alleged UFO evidence and what he calls biologics. Wow. But can he back up these allegations in public? Throughout the hearing, Grusch said he cannot expand on his bold allegations that the US is in possession of alien technology and the remains of non-human pilots whose UFOs had crashed, because the majority of the information Grusch alleges he is aware of is classified. Most of his answers are brief. I cannot discuss that in an open session, he said on several occasions. But because he has filed a whistleblower complaint, he is also unable to provide corroborating information about the cover-up. Okay, so he cannot speak on classified information as a military officer. But no, he also filed a whistleblower complaint. So, between the whistleblower complaint and the fact that he is an officer of the military, he is restricted from really going into detail about what he knows. See? So it seems like this man may know of some stuff for real, but cannot actually divulge the depth of what he knows. Zine. However, he also says he hasn't actually seen any aliens for himself. So that's one of the main thing I would want to know, right? Zine, and apparently he does as well, and that's why he's bringing this up. That's why he's making it such a big deal, right? When Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez asked where the subcommittee could look for more information and whether any other officials could come forward, Grusch said he could not answer. Okay, while Grusch has not yet produced evidence of his allegations throughout the hearing, he encouraged Congress to hold our government accountable and to thoroughly investigate these claims. He added, "As I stand here under oath now, I am speaking to the fact as I have been told them." Okay, but members of the Congress could soon know more. Grusch said several times that he could further debrief representatives in an SCIF, a soundproofed room for officials with security clearances used to disclose sensitive information. This is how you know the man's serious, you know. The man go as far as saying, look, I'll get into one of these special rooms where only me and the 3 people in there will hear what's being said, and I'll divulge everything I know. I'll tell you guys everything in detail so that you can believe me and go ahead and do further investigations. See? That's how you know him really about that life. Him want the truth get out there, and he's willing to stand on it and go as far as say these things. Even risk jail time. So, yeah, man. I like where this is going. The witnesses think the UFOs are also a threat. Now, Representative Glenn Grothman asked the witnesses if they believe that UFOs pose a potential threat to our national security. Grusch answered in the affirmative, but said that he could not expand beyond what he had already claimed about the government's alleged crash, retrieval, and reverse engineering program. Favre said the UFO he saw over the Pacific could be a serious threat. Okay, it also says here Congress wants more oversight. Since the existence of government research into UFOs was made public in 2017, there's been a complete turnaround in how the matter is treated in the military and in Congress. What was once a joke is now a matter of serious reporting on a national security threat, even if many of the unidentified object pilots are running into just balloons. As Grusch claims brings more attention to the unusual run-ins, representatives want more accountability from the Pentagon. UFOs, whatever they may be, may pose a serious threat to our military and our civilian aircraft, and that must be understood. Representative Robert Garcia said, "We should encourage more reporting, not less, on UAPs. The more we understand, the safer we will be." Alright, cool. Yeah, man, we have an update on the matter. UFO whistleblower doubles down on claims. This is a nightmare for me, says David Grusch, right? This is a article from The Hill by Lauren Irwin. It came out on the 13th of December 2023. So I gotta just run through it real quick. Former intelligence officer and UFO whistleblower David Grusch said he's been living a nightmare since making his testimony public over the summer. "Since I went public, certainly this has been a nightmare for me," he said in an interview Tuesday with News Nation's Elizabeth Vargas tonight. "I mean, I was an intelligence officer for 14 years, behind the curtains, if you will," Grusch told Vargas. He never wanted to go public with his claims, but did so for the right reasons and to hold the government accountable. Grusch, an Air Force veteran and former member of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, claimed the government is holding back information about UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomena. He also served as a National Reconnaissance Officer representative for the Pentagon's Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Task Force. In a June interview with News Nation, he claimed the U.S. has recovered non-human crafts with non-human species inside. News Nation and The Hill are both owned by Nexstar Media Group. I don't know why it says that. Grusch testified before Congress in July and reiterated his claims, but said he was unable to provide hard evidence, largely due to his fears of prosecution for sharing classified data in a public setting. In the Tuesday interview with Vargas, Grusch said this is not a laughing matter and that the U.S. has a severe oversight issue. "So I think we have a severe truth and reconciliation process we need to start in this country," says Grusch, "and I am here to help the current administration, and I am happy to help," adding that he wants to be a tool for change. After the July hearing, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle looked to expand their investigative power after they were left with more questions than answers. Representative Tim Burchett said expanding powers would allow for future subpoenas and to hear the rest of Grusch's testimony in a secure environment. Grusch's interview comes after Sean Kirkpatrick, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Officer Director, announced he would be stepping down 18 months after he took the chief position. Grusch said the office needs to find a new director that the American people would have more confidence in, and that he provided a senior senator with my pick. That's it, I guess. He's saying that he's getting criticism, and he's not even saying exactly what the nightmare is, you know what I mean? But I can only imagine how awkward it must be for him, right? And he's probably a bit paranoid. You know, we've seen many movies and heard many of a conspiracy theory about how whistleblowers, government agents, informants, etc., have mysteriously gone missing and all sorts of stuff, right? All right, so there you have it. Former military intelligence officer David Grusch is unable to say exactly what he has found out, right, in full detail. He has alleged that government officials in the Pentagon, military personnel, are not allowing him to continue his investigations. Meanwhile, others had no idea that he existed and was doing these type of investigations, right? As well as he would love to reveal some of this information if the government allows him to, right? And so that's what he's appealing for, but under, you know, the strictest of environments. See? So him want to talk, can't talk, and we still don't have anything conclusive, right? We still don't know what exactly is what. One thing we do know is that the military, right, the government, a lot of these high-ranking military officials and, you know, intelligence agencies, they know what's going on. They're hiding something, and as I said, that's for sure. So if we go and watch it, you know, time will reveal everything. All right, my people, so that is that for now. Zane, we are definitely going to be following up these issues, these matters, very interesting matters, right? Alien, spacecraft, foreign technology, alien technology, you know what I mean? Otherworldly beings. Yo, them thing is deep, like mind-blowing stuff, right? To me at least, because at one point none of this existed, right? Aliens and everything, there was just a hoax, a distraction, not real at all. Nothing to waste time to even research or think about, you know what I mean? But yeah, when you hear the former president talk like how him talk, yeah, and you hear these esteemed journalists and experienced journalists, right? Yeah, man, you have to take it serious. At least acknowledge it as something that the rest of the world is taking serious. And yeah, so we'll keep you updated, as well as definitely want to know your thoughts. What do you think on the whole UAP situation, UFOs, aliens, all of them things there? What do you think about Obama's opinions on these things, you know what I mean, and how it shifted over time, right? All of that, let me know. You see me? Like, subscribe, share as well, you know what I mean? It's Fire, Koronation Podcast. Boom. And to everybody out there, we just have to say all the best for 2024, you know what I mean? More prosperity, more peace, more happiness, yeah, more togetherness, more unity, you know what I mean? More solidarity. Yes, I, Rastafari, give thanks.
Keep the fire blazing, got to keep it bright.